Hello, the Irrational Skeptic here, and today I am going to do a video on meta-analysis, as seen in the title. Basically, my reasons for wanting to do this video because I've always found different research methods to be interesting um, in the way they, let's say, gather data or come to their conclusions. And I thought that this was interesting, particularly because um, I think it's a great way that can be used to do quantitative as well as qualitative studies to kind of gauge what is maybe a central thesis to an area of study without relying too heavily on one source. So let's just get into it right away. I'm reading off of a definition on Wikipedia.com. I've made sure to go and check the sources which they've used, and for this particular article, there's a lot of sources, and they're well sourced. I've gone through them myself, and I find that this can be reliable. So, getting right into it, the basic tenet behind meta-analysis is that there is a common truth behind all conceptually similar scientific studies, but which has been measured with a certain error within individual studies. The aim then is to use approaches from statistics to derive a pooled estimate closest to the unknown common truth based on how this error is perceived. In essence, all existing methods yield a weighted average from the results of the individual studies, and what differs is the manner in which these weights are allocated and also the manner in which the uncertainty is computed around a point estimate thus generated. In addition to providing an estimate of the unknown common truth, meta-analysis has the capacity to contrast results from different studies and identify patterns among study results, sources of disagreement among those results, or other interesting relationships that may come to light in the context of multiple studies. So that is a general definition of um, meta-analysis. And yeah, in the context of the kind of videos I make and I will be making, um, I, I, I plan to draw from, let's say, different sources to explain personality typing. Um, so a lot of times you'll hear me mention Enneagram, you'll hear me mention the MBTI, you'll hear me mention Big Five factor, you'll hear me mention um, Dr. Dario Nardi's um, ways of conducting research using EEG, um, doing brain scans, and kind of making correlations and uh, having some sort of objective basis in the brain. Um, uh, and you'll also hear me mention maybe Dr. Beebe. He also is in this area. He tends to take a more strictly Jungian approach to personality typing. So he talks about the archetypes more in depth as well. But yeah, I just wanted to get this out there. This is a way of looking at typology, which can be very helpful so that we don't get pigeonholed into one view of, uh, of typing, or maybe get too caught up and sort of turn the whole thing into a sort of a super authority, because there is really no overall authority on anything. We're supposed to aggregate data. We're supposed to look at things from different angles and come up with maybe a coherent thesis or set of theses, set of theories. We should never kind of become complacent in following one ideology and crowning it as sort of the uh, crux of everything. So, yeah, that's um, mostly kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Um, uh, Also, oh well, I might have to edit this. I had more to add to this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to actually also speak on, let's say, the disadvantages of meta-analysis, and this goes in line with what is called publication bias. So once one starts to do meta-analysis, they tend to follow the data in a certain direction, and the direction that maybe proves more of what they already think. So you have confirmation biases coming in. So you read something here and you make a correlation to another article, and maybe it strengthens your view. And from then on, you start to look for more similar data that strengthens your view, and you refuse to look at data that that maybe shows bad or negative results in relation to your central thesis. So I just putting that out there as well. You've got to be careful when doing meta analysis in order to not uh, fall into these biases that we all would naturally be inclined to have. Um, and this comes into in areas such as medicine. If someone's doing a quantitative um, meta-analysis, they're looking at a few clinical trials of a certain drug that is claiming to um, cure a certain illness, and they start to look at different data points, but they refuse to look at uh, the data points that suggest maybe that's negative side effects, or suggest that maybe this only works in a certain age range group. There's just different reasons why you have to look at the bad, or not bad in its dogmatic sense, but you have to look at results that show that possibly the central thesis which you're finding could somehow be flawed, and include that in your results as well. Um, so yeah, I think this will end up just being a short video. But if you have any questions or comments, you can leave that down in the description below. I will be making more videos on subjects similar to this, research methods. Um, and yeah, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone. The Irrational Skeptic signing off.